Blog Talk Radio.
Sometimes I wanna light up underneath the no smoking sign. Sometimes I wish they'd tell me how justice got so blind. I wish they'd just leave me alone, 'cause I'm doing alright. You can take your change on down the road and leave me here with mine. 'Cause that ain't my America, that ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam old Uncle Sam, but I ain't letting you. I'm mad as hell and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They ain't us, that ain't my America. That ain't my America.
And good morning. Today is November 14th, 2013. This is Tech Lunch Roundtable here on Blog Talk Radio. I am Jason.
And I am Mish.
We are here talking security, technology, and privacy news.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, we're related to the technology world. Usually for the first half of the show, we go over any news-related items for the last week.
Mm-hmm.
The weekly show typically every Thursday around this time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time.
Mm-hmm.
Our website is stonemountainconsultants.com.
Or smc.io.
For short.
Short.
On that website, we have links to our YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus pages. The nice thing about YouTube is you can subscribe to our show, where we can, once we upload the show, I know we haven't done that in the last couple of weeks, but when we do upload the show, you'll get emailed that it's there, so you can listen at your leisure. So that's easy to do, subscribe, and we usually post the link once it's uploaded both to Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus as well. Our call-in number is 818-739-8894.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any comments, questions, or rants. Our topic for this show, I believe, is, and we've talked about this before in the past, is wireless frequencies, how they affect your body and you, and how to avoid it and what to watch out for. And that's usually after our news.
Mm-hmm.
Again, our phone number is 818-739-8894. I guess the biggest news this week would be the whole Google, YouTube
Backlash.
Of course, right. YouTube has integrated finally the Google Plus into YouTube. For example, and people may have seen this, I've seen this a while. Every once in a while, they've done it for the last few months, but finally made it for everybody just this past week, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I would get a pop-up saying, do you want to use your real name, which is from Google Plus, or do you want to keep using your alias?
And if you kept using your alias, finally, if say you wanted to make a comment, you click on it and say, oh, we have to connect this with your Google Plus. You cannot use it. And then once you do that, you don't even have access to a lot of the stuff that YouTube, like your YouTube inbox anymore.
Well, that's probably merged into your
Google Plus.
Google Plus, which is your Gmail inbox.
Yep.
So there's been a big backlash of that. And I guess if you don't combine them, you can do only short comments.
I couldn't even do any comments.
Oh. I don't know. I am able to. And there's a little box that says also share on Google Plus. So I don't know. Some people are saying they can do short comments. Other people have said that they have to approve the comments first. I don't know. like I said, I can make comments. In fact, I'm at a page right now that has no comments, which is unusual. But I'm able to make a comment. But if I want to, I can either click on Google Plus or not for it to share it.
Mm-hmm.
When you do, you can share it through Google Plus, which actually gives your video even more, opens up to more folks as well. But for people who just watch videos, you don't comment or anything, it's like no big deal. But this really, I guess, affects people who post. We haven't posted a video in a couple weeks, so I don't know until after this show probably. I'll find out how that affects me uploading. So we'll find that out. So that's kind of like the bigger news.
Yeah, the hot topic.
Personally, I mean, even though I don't like Google, I think Google's response should be, well, don't use YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It is their service. I mean, it's not just like if we had a service and but somebody didn't like what we were doing. If we liked what we were doing, we wouldn't change it.
Exactly.
So it is their service. If that's what they want to do, somebody else can start up a different service.
Yeah.
Go to Vimeo, or there's a bunch of others, I think. Flip TV, Vimeo. Not sure what else are there.
There's Daily Motion.
Yep.
There's Vimeo. There's the first one's off the top of my head.
So I think Vimeo is probably the bigger one after YouTube, maybe. So, but anyhow, let's see what else is going on. I guess this was kind of interesting. Earlier in the week, had come out that basically the story is had come out that the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, was funding the installation of little white boxes that can track entire population, or the population of an entire city. In Seattle had actually had it installed. And the maker of those little white boxes, which I'm trying to find the name of it, Arubas. Even on their website it says that the wireless network has a wealth of information. The software includes a location engine that calculates associated and unassociated device location every 30 seconds by default. The last 1,000 historical locations are stored for each MAC address. Wow. MAC address is everything that's on a network, wireless or wired, has a MAC address. It has nothing to do with Apple Macs. It's machine. What's it stand for actually?
Look it up. I don't remember.
But it's basically a serial number of that device. So your iPhone has a MAC address, media access control address.
Yes.
Again, it's a unique identifier number, serial number.
For each device.
For each device, right. So your computer, your iPhone, PS3, all that stuff has a unique MAC address. And that's actually how we've used, we can track down devices on a network through their MAC address.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how a lot of technicians identify units, modems and stuff like that on their network through that MAC address.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, so the story goes, it was released that this is what this is doing. They are monitoring everything. And this came out through, sites like, well, actually the big one that came out was Alex Jones' InfoWars.
Mm-hmm.
Had an insider that said this is what they're doing. And, of course, people are like, oh, this is a conspiracy. But what's interesting is that where is it here? And, of course, it wasn't really making news, except for in Seattle. But, nobody really watches this stuff. Because they don't care, because they're stupid. Seattle police are deactivating the Wi-Fi spy grid after privacy outcry. So it shows that it's real.
Yep.
Okay, it's a $2.7 million system. Again, it's a series of white Wi-Fi boxes. And by the way, if you at the end of the show, all of our articles that we reference or websites that we recommend are on the show notes for today's show. So you go to our website, smc.io, and you click on shows, click on today's show, and you'll see all the articles. So you can read this, the pictures of these little white boxes out hanging on light poles. Now, what's interesting is, and I know we have to go to a break shortly, but let's see. They said it was installed. It was quote-unquote operational without being operated because the police had switched on the network for the DHS grant-mandated testing and then, forgot to turn it off. So that's your police force. Again, if you believe the story.
Oh, I forgot to turn off the taser on the guy.
Yeah, I forgot to shut it off.
Bad day.
So that's your police force there, Seattle.
Good job.
All right, we'll be right back after this break. Our call-in number is 818-739-8894. Do you have a small business? Do you have a hobby that you want to share with others? You need your own website. It's not as complicated as you think. A website is much, much more than having a simple Facebook page. You don't own or control what you post on Facebook. Did you know that? With your own website, you control and maintain your own content. It's all yours. We here at Stone Mountain Consultants can help you from the start in creating your own space on the information superhighway. We can help you create your own domain, start up your website. We can even help you maintain it. Call Stone Mountain Consultants at 276-664-1476 or check out our website at smc.io. Again, that's 276-664-1476 or check out our website at smc.io. We'll be more than happy to help. Welcome back here on Blog Talk Radio, Tech Lunch Roundtable on November 14th, 2013. What was it? Tuesday, yesterday morning at 9:10 in the morning, Eastern Time, or no matter where you were. It was 9:10, 11, 12, 13.
Wow.
Pretty cool. We're going over our news for the week. I'll briefly mention, and again on our show notes, Google is patenting an electronic throat tattoo.
That's going to be awesome.
Okay. The idea is so that wearers could communicate with the devices via voice commands without having to wear an earpiece or the glass headset.
Sure.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Spooky. Spooky.
Mark of the Beast much?
Hell yeah. Starting this, this Friday, which would be tomorrow, the Sony's PlayStation 4 is going to hit the stores. And Microsoft's Xbox One is coming next week, the 22nd. No one really considers Nintendo Wii U.
It's not really a next gen. It's
right.
Just Wii U.
Right. This is actually going to be the first time that
they come up really close to each other.
Right, and there are actually major enhancements.
Yeah, but they're very similar devices.
Right, or they all pretty much NSA can't have too many different devices out there.
True.
To break into and stuff like that.
The Xbox One is pretty much NSA. PS4, little on they take it back a couple because. Like on Xbox One, you have the Connect 2, which is integrated. You have to have it. Whereas PlayStation 4 is like, you can buy it for $59.
Right.
One of the biggest differences, of course, is the titles at launch. PS4 is $16 and Xbox One is $23, but it's the price. I mean, they basically have the same ability. They both have an 8-core AMD processor. One, the PS4 has the x86-64 AMD Jaguar CPU.
Now, do AMD still run hot, or they fixed that?
They fixed that.
Okay.
Yeah. And the Xbox One is an 8-core AMD custom CPU. So in other words, they probably overclocked it, which means it's probably faster, but it's going to wear out maybe. Out of the two, and then you have, of course, the price, which is PS4 is $399 and Xbox One is $499. So how much do you want to spend for the NSA to watch you? Actually, out of the two, even though there's only 16 titles at launch, I'll go with the PS4 over Xbox One.
Right, but I mean, for example, I'm assuming Halo is not going to come out for the PS4.
Nope. That's
so
Xbox only.
Right. Dead Rising, is that?
That's I believe that's only Xbox One.
Yeah. So I mean, those are two pretty big. And Forza Motorsports, I know that's big.
Yes.
But anyhow, yeah, I mean, it all depends. I agree. An extra $100.
The one that's coming out for PS4, it's a launch title, is Border 1886. I heard that it was actually pretty good. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, other than that, Cisco is slumps 11% on weak sales and outlook. Cisco is the company that pretty much makes the majority of the routers and switches that run the internet.
Yep.
They're kind of a gauge factor in technology in the internet world. The CEO blamed a hard-to-read economic environment, adding that the U.S. government shutdown increased the lack of confidence among business leaders. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah. Well, they take some of their $12 billion sales profits and put it back into the company, because $12 billion will run the country for ever, actually.
And they're going to lay off about 4,000 folks.
Oh, because they're making so little money. I mean, they're up 11% from before. That means that they're making 11% more.
Right.
Yeah. If they were down 11% from their baseline, that's different. They're idiots. They just want to fire people.
Yep. Now, CIA reportedly pays AT&T $10 million a year to access calling records.
Mm-hmm.
So just think of that when you pay your AT&T bill.
Or you think that, hey, that Snowden guys are full of crap. Oh, the CIA and NSA are not there for you.
Right. Now, I didn't read all this article. It'll be out in here, but where it is. Researchers are developing a new cloaking technology.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying there are a lot of reasons you want to make things invisible other than just being incredibly cool. The girl's underwear. There are many potential military uses of cloaking technology.
It's always military.
But it could also help improve cellular signals by hiding objects that would normally block a weakened signal strength. And maybe you read the article. I'm not sure exactly how it works.
Well, basically what it does is it bends the rays around it. Basically what it does is it absorbs. Basically, think of it like nobody knows this, but when you look at the sun, light actually bends around it. Normally, light goes in a straight line. Light bends around it. So what this is doing is bending the light around the object that the cloak is on. So it would actually probably look more like a warp in space, kind of like the old Star Trek. When the Klingons or whatever would cloak their ship, you would see a distortion because it's bending the light around it. So basically it's like a smooth line. But one of the things that I thought was interesting is that this kind of technology, if you ramped it up a little bit, this is actually how you can actually travel faster than light, because you're bending the stuff around you. Basically you're in what's called a slipstream. They took this to the next level. So that's kind of cool. But it's very interesting. I didn't read all of it because some of it's even over my head, and I'm pretty much uber nerd. But basically, bends the light around it. They have to make it a little more easier to use. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, and then I got a couple minutes before our break. But researchers use smartphone camera to figure out pins.
Yeah.
They found a way to figure out what PIN number somebody is typing into their smartphone by using the device's built-in cameras and microphones to secretly record them. Let's see here. In a paper published last Thursday, security researchers at the University of Cambridge detailed how they exploited the smartphone's camera and microphone to detect the pins and gave some suggestions for making this type of hack more difficult. Now, this type of attack or malware doesn't exist in the wild just yet, but now that it's been published, who knows, somebody may be working on something like the CIA.
That's good they have that already.
The PIN skimmer program was created by Cambridge's Ross Anderson and Lawrence Simon. The idea is to identify potential security holes, but I want to see how it works. Let's see. First, the microphone detects that a person is entering a PIN. On many apps, the device will vibrate each time a number is tapped. That's why I turned my vibration off. That vibration creates a sound that is picked up by the microphone, which lets the malware know that a touch event is happening. Then the camera takes over. The camera isn't looking for reflections in your eyes or triangulating what numbers you're looking at while typing the code. The researchers are using the camera to detect the orientation of the phone and determine where the user's finger is on the screen. On-screen keypads typically display number in a standard order. So if the program can tell where a finger is tapping on the screen based on how the person is holding it, it can deduce what number is there. In their example, researchers assume people are holding their phones with one hand and typing in numbers with their thumb, which is how most people do it. So interesting. And lastly, I was going to show this last week, but with the new, what's it called? Anyhow, when they send out alerts, weather alerts to all your phones.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. Apparently in the Cincinnati area, people in the wrong area were warned that a tornado warning was there. They were sent around 11:15 and 11:40 p.m. It said tornado warning in the area, take shelter. However, it was issued for the wrong counties. The National Weather Service says they're not responsible. They don't control how the cell providers distributes alerts. So this whole thing about these wireless emergency alert messages obviously weren't tested very well.
I remember in the article it says in your area. It's like what they should say is in in Richmond area there is a blah blah blah.
Yep.
Yeah, the county or whatever. Eastern Fairfax County there is a tornado watch. Because what if that one top hit everybody in the country?
Right.
Everybody's like, crap.
And that isn't just the only one I've seen. I've seen other stories where it says, it was warned in the wrong area. So, once again, technology screwed up. With that note, we haven't screwed up yet, I don't think. We'll be right back after this break where we'll go into our subject about wireless, how it can kill you.
Yeah, and they can.
Did you know that each year 1 in 10 laptops are lost or stolen? 1 in 4 computers suffer data loss. And 7 in 10 firms with major data loss go under. Never risk your critical data files on undependable manual backups or inferior data storage solutions. Face it, data loss is a fact of life. It's not if you're going to lose your data, it's when. Protect your business with the most secure and reliable backup solution available. The single most valuable business insurance you can buy is just a click or a phone call away. Call Stone Mountain Consultants at 276-664-1476 or check out their website at smc.io. That's smc.io.
And welcome back here on Tech Lunch Roundtable. I know it's not lunchtime, at least anywhere in the United States, but just like the song goes, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's lunchtime somewhere.
Lunchtime, probably the Azores.
But yeah, and even London. Let's see, they're 5 hours ahead of us, or 4 hours. So yeah, actually, right off we go then.
Right.
I'm Jason.
I'm Mish.
Our website here is smc.io.
Mm-hmm.
And on our website, we've got links up to the wazoo about everything that we talk about our show. If you click on the show notes, let's see what else. Our phone number, if you've got questions, comments, rants, is 818-739-8894.
Mm-hmm.
We had just covered the news for the week. Mm-hmm. Our topic for this week is, what do we want to call it? It's kind of a cute, scary name.
Wi-Fi, the silent killer.
Yeah. RF. Silent
but deadly. Although, actually, RF actually makes a noise. Nobody can hear it.
Yeah, the silent but deadly.
The silent
but deadly.
Anyway, so, we've talked about this before, and one of the great videos, and we'll put them up on links to it, like if anybody's ever seen the documentary, Take Back Your Power, explains a lot of this. But basically, Wi-Fi, any RF radiation, this comes from your cell phone, your Wi-Fi router, your smart meter, everything. What comes off of it is called RF radiation or RF energy. This is dangerous to you. This interacts with your cells, your body, and not in a positive way. Basically, what in the Take Back Your Power documentary, which is takebackyourpower.net for Jason, who's writing that down. You can actually watch it and get the DVD, or I think you can even watch it online. And it explains how when your body interacts with RF energy, it thinks it's it's like an infection. So your body starts to increase its T cells and I believe B or C cells. Basically, your immune system kicks in. Plus, also, it makes your red blood cells start to jumble up. Normally, they don't stick to each other, but they start sticking. And depending on your exposure, they actually start to become more jagged. Normally, red blood cell is, perfectly circle. Kind of looks like a donut, but still has the middle in it because it kind of comes into I forgot what it's called. It's like a concave inside because it's not a big circle.
I don't know.
If you cut it down the sideways, it kind of looks like an 8. But what happens is it starts to get jagged because it's the EM radiation, the RF radiation, because that's basically what it is interacting with it and causing the cell wall to disfigure, basically. But one of the things that most people need to be aware of is that there is a danger there. Like your cell phone shouldn't be next to you while you sleep. Your Wi-Fi router should probably be turned off while you sleep or when you're not using it. Like basically go wired. Wired is the best way to go. I have no wireless devices except one portable phone, which I'm working on getting rid of in my home. And once I get that, and then I have very little EMF radiation. Once I get rid of the smart meter on the side of my house, good times. But one of the things, Jason can actually attest to this because he actually ran through this in his own home, is with the cell phone being near you or not being near you during sleep. You can tell the story.
Right. What I had done was my wife and I usually used to sleep with our cell phones, by our bedstand. And I figured I'd do a test and decided to, one night without telling her, remove our cell phones and put them basically in the kitchen. And next morning I asked her how she slept. And she said that She slept, better. Said okay. Then the following night, I let the phones in there and asked her how she slept. She said, not as good, but she slept fine. Then I decided to, the following night, take them out again, and asked her how she slept, and she slept better. Did that for a few nights, and finally told her what it was, and I noticed I was sleeping better too, and the phone was out of the area. Mm-hmm. Slept a little more soundly, a little more comfortably. So it does affect your sleeping patterns. Even as an example, in our house, we get fairly large, spiders, in the corners. No big deal. Obviously, they're usually in dark areas, in the showers, in the corners. They're just typical household spiders.
Not Charlotte?
No. The only area of the house we didn't get it was a little nook area that we call the library. There's shelves in there. It's fairly dark. There's no light in there. It's sort of out of the nook area. And I realized that that's actually the exact area where the smart meter is located. Whether that's a coincidence or not, it's kind of odd that they're all over the house. You get 1 week or 2 a week. It's like no big deal. But they're all over the house except that area. We've never seen a spider in that area. So, and in that, for example, the Take Back Your Power DVD, or movie, I should say, they actually show video of aphids jumping when these smart meters pulse. Mm-hmm. So it just doesn't affect you, and not you because you're dumb, but you. It affects animals too. There's actually I put it on the website, and that's what I was doing right now. I'm going to put a couple things on there, but the first one is kind of an interesting article that cell phone towers are not what we're led to believe. This guy had written that, and I've never been to Mexico City, but he knows there was one thing, this was years ago, he knows one thing that when he went to Mexico City, that there was a complete lack of cell towers, yet he had perfect cell service. He got me wondering, how could a cell phone system work so well with no cell towers around? Anyway, so he did some research and stuff like that. He kind of came into realization, and after some research, basically that, let's see here. He brought up a good point, for example. We use these ourselves. Those small little handheld family radio service radios you buy for like $30, that can work off of line of sight, and even with line of sight, it could be 5-10 miles. And those radios are what? 4 watts? 3 watts? 2.5, I think.
Most of them are 2.5, but you can get 4-watt ones.
Why then do we need a cell tower that's sitting up there at 100 feet or 200 feet? Basically thousands of watts of power every 500 feet.
They're like cooking us.
Now, granted, one tower may be an AT&T tower, the other one may be Verizon. They can't, agree to be put on the same tower. But the point is, you also notice there is an awful lot of cell phone towers in such a small area. And you also notice that the power going to these cell towers is typically, and you can tell that by the transformers, are larger than what the cell tower typically needs. But the article kind of goes into, there are over 220,000 cell phone towers and antennas in the United States, and they do have peer-reviewed scientific studies have identified symptoms like headaches, fatigue, concentration problems, dizziness, insomnia, depression, appetite loss, skin rashes, and discomfort from these towers. And we're talking towers, we're even talking towers that are put on top of like apartment complexes, you're living right below them. These basically are microwaves. We all know what microwaves do to your food. There was a reason why they were banned in Russia for a number of years.
Well, one of the things also that there's another YouTube video about Wi-Fi in schools, safe, true or false, done by Dr. Magda Havars. She's basically a PhD in Petersburg, Canada. Canadians, eh? But she explains that, and you can think about it, what's sitting in your pants as you're sitting there is a microwave transmitter. And what's coming off of because all of this is microwave radiation. RF is that way. Regular radios aren't microwaves. They're actually lower bandwidth. So that's why your FM, your AM and FM. I mean, you put up somebody walks in front of the radio signal and all of a sudden it goes away. Whereas your cell phone, somebody walks in front of your cell phone, nope, goes straight through them because they're sending a lot more data and stuff through, so they need a stronger signal. So the one video talks about how it takes like 12 minutes to cook a potato in a microwave oven under like high heat. Now high heat, high level or whatever the maximum level that the microwave oven does. Now if you put it on low heat, it just takes longer. The difference between like the smart meters and the Wi-Fi is just at a lower power level. So you're still getting cooked. It's just happening over a longer period of time. This is the reason why I've talked about it before, like how people would get cancer from their cell phones. Like women would put it in their booby holders, and at the corners of the cell phone where the antennas are, and that's where they would have their that's where these cancer cells would be found, and that's because it's right there. It's basically irradiating. It's like you stick something in the microwave and it's just going to be burned no matter what. So one of the things that you kind of want to be careful of is all this RF radiation. Now, other than getting rid of like your portable phone, your cell phone, turning it off like airplane mode when you're in the house, or and switching to corded phones like we do, and also getting rid of your smart meter, which I recommend highly to watch the Take Back Your Power and get that removed from your house immediately, because it's dangerous. Other things, but there's like you got cell phone towers, you got all these towers around that are also irradiating you. But there's a great site that actually has a lot of stuff. They went and found stuff we can order. It's called EMFSafetyStore.com. And as you go down, you can buy the readers, the detectors that actually detect the EMF or the RF radiation. They're both called Gauss meters and magnetometers. But they can be expensive, but they're well worth it. I mean, which, as they say, what is your life worth? What is your kids' life worth? The next thing was they even have shielding fabrics that actually shield you. So if you can make almost clothes out of it, make an overshirt or a and then you're getting less radiation. Because that's really what you want to do, is you want to not eliminate, but limit your exposure to this radiation. Because the more you're exposed to it, the more it's going to hurt you. Like they even have this thing, which I always thought would be great, because say you're living in a populated like a city, there's EMF around you no matter what, and or you're traveling and you're in a city and you can't just put a fresh coat of paint up on the wall that protects you, or put the shielding on the they have like shielding films like a Scotch tint that does it on your windows. Well, they have this shielding bed canopy so you actually can pack that with you. What it does is it protects you from reduces exposure to 300 megahertz to 3 gigahertz radiation, more than 20 dB, and that's basically 99% of everything. So basically, the only thing that's getting to you is cosmic radiation, which you really can't stop no matter what. But these kind of things are well worth it, because especially like kids, I mean, a lot of this radiation can affect your sterility and your ability to have children. But there's a lot of technology out there that can actually protect you. But at the same time, basically, the safety aspect, I mean, you just need to be aware of it. So there's a lot of cool stuff out there that you can buy, that you can actually get, and that can protect you a lot against it. But it's really the knowledge. So I'd actually recommend is that, say you live in a small town like we do, you buy like a RF meter, or what's called a Gauss meter, and you walk around, find where it is. I mean, if there's radiation in a certain area, or maybe you walk to the back of your house where your smart meter is, and you get getting tons of radiation, then you can this is an interesting thing. So you can then take care of it. But it's not, and that's why even and that's what the one YouTube was on, is that everywhere you go, if you go to schools, a lot of schools have Wi-Fi in the halls everywhere, and it's the health hazards are there, and your kids, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, being exposed to this level of radiation, why don't you just shoot them in the head? It'll quicker, cheaper too.
Right, and if that keeps happening,
boy, everyone is stupid except me.
This is true.
We'll be right back after this break.
Do you have a small business? Do you have a hobby that you want to share with others? You need your own website. It's not as complicated as you think. The website is much, much more than having a simple Facebook page. You don't own or control what you post on Facebook. Did you know that? With your own website, you control and maintain your own content. It's all yours. We here at Stone Mountain Consultants can help you from the start in creating your own space on the information superhighway. We can help you create your own domain, start up your website. We can even help you maintain it. Call Stone Mountain Consultants at 276-664-1476 or check out our website at smc.io. Again, that's 276-664-1476 or check out our website at smc.io. We'll be more than happy to help.
And welcome back here in the Tech Lunch Roundtable, our last segment here.
Mm-hmm.
Today, November 14th, 2013. Thanksgiving's coming up in what? 2 weeks? Week and a half? 3 weeks? 5 weeks? I don't know. Someday. Whatever. We are talking how to protect yourself against... did we actually talk about how to protect it? Yeah, I guess we did.
I gave them this website, but basically... metal and water. How do you protect yourself against RF radiation? Metal and water. Because radiation or RF radiation does not go through or has a hard time penetrating metal and water.
Can I wear a night suit?
You could. You would look kind of retarded, but
I'd be healthy.
Yes, you would. But like, reason why metal is it because it's very dense and it bounces the radiation away. The same thing happens with water because water does not compress. Means that you have the same amount of water no matter what. As it hits the water, the microwave radiation is heating up the water, so the radiation is actually being dissipated in the water. The reason why you may have seen in like movies and whatnot, people jump in the water and the explosions above them, and yet they're okay, except for the fact that they're holding their breath. That's true in some respects because the radiation will not go into the water directly. Once little bitties of the radiation, like if there's particles, that'll go in the water and that'll make the water irradiated, but that takes a little bit of time. So.
And remember, it's just not. We're talking cell phone antennas, Wi-Fi, but in addition to that, you've got other frequencies out there. You've got the microwave transmissions, cable companies, TV stations. Even if you're in
TVs, if you stand in front of one of their dishes. Not fun.
Right, you're told not to stand in front of those. If it's got satellite internet, if you've got an area where it has wireless internet through large towers,
like Seattle,
they beam between towers through microwave transmission. Although those are more pinpoint. But you've also got. Although these are less, you got emergency radio traffic, you've got CB traffic, you've got ham radios. I mean, those are all being, but less around.
Yep.
You're just bombarded with it. But the big ones are the smart meters, cell towers. These are high power.
Yeah, they're pushing a lot of radiation now. And one of the things about the radiation is that some people are electrically sensitive and other people are not. So some person might be like just, get near a smart meter and pass out. As another person just standing there, whoop, blah, 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 blah. But both being affected nonetheless. So it doesn't matter if you're electrically sensitive or you're not. It is the problem. Because it can also affect your heart, your health, not just your cell radiation, because since it affects your blood, it affects your heart. So, you have a heart attack or you have a stroke or something like that, that can cause it. Other things that can affect other radiations out there, other things other than the cell phone, the smart meter, what the biggest things, and the Wi-Fi in your house is wires. Because when the smart meter is in, it's actually creating radiation in the house because it's creating dirty power, so that actually will affect you too. So all this stuff is hitting you, and it's all not good for your health. So we're all being cooked in our own skins.
And another one you can help out is getting rid of your microwave.
Yes. Oh, you should tell the story about what happens with the microwave if you microwave water with the plant. Or I'll just say it.
Right.
If you microwave water, let it cool down, then put it into a plant, water a plant with it, the plant will die very soon. And just keep on doing that, because what you're doing is the radiation is still in that water because you're basically irradiating it, and it's killing everything in it that's life-giving. So when you put your throw in your microwave a cup of coffee to heat it up or a cup of water to make tea, you're basically drinking irradiated water, which, if you like, growing an extra arm or two and dying excruciating pain, go for it. But it is a bad thing. So and in reality, just get a toaster oven. Turn it on. There you go. Heated up your macaroni and cheese. There you go. Took maybe 30 to 40 seconds longer, but really, are you that in a rush? And if you're that much in a rush, you need to slow down. Or maybe have a different life.
You can get a convection oven.
Yep, convection oven. They heat very quickly because it moves the air around. Or you can get a little skillet and just heat up your little things. Just because something takes a shorter amount of time doesn't mean it's better. Trust me on that one. Sometimes taking a little extra time, and actually makes it taste a lot better. If you've ever noticed that if you heat up meat in a microwave oven, then you heat it up in like a toaster oven, it's all spongy and kind of like rubbery in a microwave, and it's, normal in the convection or the toaster oven. So it's like one of the things is that it's actually makes things taste better.
Now, I thought you said water would protect.
If you're the water is absorbing it. So if, say, you had like a plate of I had a bucket of water, and a big bucket of water, and I'm under it, and you hit me with a lot of radiation, it will protect me. But the water itself is getting irradiated. It's absorbing all that radiation.
Okay. All right, well...
Has to go somewhere.
True. All right, well, I think that sums it up for this show. Again, on our show notes on our website, has all the links and some of the videos that we were referring to, the Take Back Your Power, cell phone towers, and the Wi-Fi in schools. And then from there, they have links, and you can kind of basically follow the rabbit, do your own research. So, again, don't believe what we say. Just read, do some research. So,
take the red pill and continue on. Because a blue pill is just going back to sleep. Everything's just super fine. Everybody's out to help me.
Boy, everyone is stupid except me.
This is true, Homer. Okie dokies. See you, bye.